responsibly.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Frank Isola. It's National Forgive an X Day, Tony. Any exes you'd like to forgive?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Yes, I forgive you, Cher. I always like Cher. How I wish that were true, because I've always liked Cher. You know.
I thought that was you at the Academy Awards when she won for Moonstruck. You didn't walk the red carpet with her? That wasn't you.
I wish I had, no. And she was a terrific, that's a terrific movie, Moonstruck.
Excellent.
That's a terrific movie. Really is.
Yep.
All right, welcome to PTI, boys and girls. Wilbon is off today. I am joined by our great friend from the starting lineup on Sirius XM, Mr. Frank Isola.
New York. I'm in New York today.
And we begin today with the Cincinnati Bengals beating Pittsburgh last night on a last-second 36-yard field goal, 33-31. Joe Flacco threw for 3 touchdowns, and Jamar Chase caught a franchise record 16 passes. Aaron Rodgers threw for 4 touchdowns, though he had 2 interceptions. The battle of the geezer quarterbacks was great fun. Frank, what does this result say about Flacco, Rodgers, and each team?
Yeah, yesterday I think you touched on it. You thought this game would be fun. I'm not so sure we thought they would both score that many points. Flacco is terrific. In a lot of ways may have saved their season. They lose, they have 5 losses. Pittsburgh has 5 wins. Everyone in that division would have 5 losses right now. Flacco was great. He was smart. He's got Higgins, especially he's got Chase, and he found them all game long. Chase could have had 25 catches in that game. And Rodgers was good too. He scores on the first drive of the game. Then he gives them the lead with under 3 minutes to go. It would be nice if maybe Pittsburgh defense can get a stop, and that was the problem. Cincinnati scores on 7 of their last 8 drives. Flacco throws for almost 350 yards, and the worst rushing attack in the NFL had 142 yards. So you said it yesterday. You didn't know how good Pittsburgh was. You wondered about their defense. I think they answered some questions for you last night.
Yeah, I actually found this game kind of sort of amazing because I was stunned by it. Cincinnati walked into this game with a minus 80 point differential, the worst in the league. Now, Joe Flacco was not responsible for that, and Flacco can obviously still throw it. The exact numbers are 31 of 47 for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. Those are not Jake Browning numbers. Those are Joe Burrow numbers. And Flacco found Joe Burrow's favorite receiver more than Joe Burrow has found him because it's a franchise record. Aaron Rodgers wasn't quite as good, but he was almost as good. And he went down the field every once in a while. It wasn't just those 3 and 4 yard screen passes. Frank, on the Hail Mary, he threw it almost 70 yards in the air. Who knew that he could do that? And so it was a very entertaining game.
Did you think he could do that?
I wasn't sure. No, not at 41 years old. I didn't think he could do that. Very entertaining game. Do you know they scored 27 points in the 4th quarter? But to get back to the central theme of yesterday, we find out that Pittsburgh isn't that good. That the wins they have don't mean all that much. Because to be fair, they let a 40-year-old guy who'd been in Cincinnati 9 days riddle them. 9 days. So I see why Mike Tomlin hated that trade. Because a division rival, the Browns, helps a division rival, the Bengals, to the detriment of Mike Tomlin. And now, as you say, Flacco, if he's this good, maybe the Bengals are pretty good because they got receivers, and if Joe Burrow gets back in December, maybe they're very good. I will tell you, you talked about the division. If I'm in Baltimore, I have a little bit of hope now because Pittsburgh's not going to run away with it, right? They're not.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin, he didn't like the trade. He also doesn't like Thursday night. He never wins on Thursday night.
Doesn't win.
Think about this for Pittsburgh, Tony. They've given up 30 or more points in 3 games already this season. They did it twice last season. Mean Joe Green, Mel Blount, Jack Lambert, they're not walking through that door. What happened to Pittsburgh's defense?
They're not.
Just not good enough. Not good enough. All right, let's move from 2 mature gentlemen under center last night to one on the mound in the ALCS. Your guy, 41-year-old Max Scherzer, argued to stay in Game 4, and he delivered. That was awesome. Scherzer struck out 5 over 5 2/3, allowing just 2 runs, while the Toronto offense devoured Seattle pitchers for the 2nd straight game. The Blue Jays have now evened the series at 2 games apiece. So, Tony, what do you make of what Toronto's done, how they've done it, and to whom are you giving the edge to from here on?
I think Toronto has a clear-cut advantage right now because they are back to being the team that they were at the beginning of the playoffs, a team that mashes the ball. They have 17 home runs in 8 playoff games, right?
Amazing.
Once again last night, they start out from behind. Seattle hits a home run early. It doesn't matter to Toronto. They have 2 more home runs in the game. They got a bunch of runs early. I think they got 3 in the third and 2 in the fourth. In game 3, they batted .409. Last night, they batted .306. I mean, this is what they did when they beat the Yankees. Now, Seattle doesn't have the pitching staff that the Dodgers have.
No.
They were really good in the first 2 games. They held Toronto to just 4 runs, but it's now 21 in the last 2 games. And somebody woke up Vlad Guerrero, because Vlad Guerrero walked into game 3 of this series 0 for 7. He's got 6 hits in the previous 2 games, in game 3 and game 4. And in 8 games in the playoffs, he's batting .455 with 5 home runs and 11 RBIs. So that's what $500 million buys you.
Yeah, and I know that you like Max Scherzer a lot, and I thought you were hoping that he would pitch well. I mean, the scene on the mound in the 5th inning is classic Max Scherzer. You know, where they talk about, pitchers having guile and moxie. He was a bulldog in that moment. Remember when he pitched for the Mets and you had the diplomat from Japan who's about to throw out the first pitch, and Max Scherzer said, no, your time is done. I'm taking the mound. And the poor guy's standing there because he knew the mound belongs to Max Scherzer. That was his 500th career start. That's regular season and postseason. He had not won a postseason game since the 3 games that he won when Washington won the World Series. I thought he was terrific.
For the Nationals.
National, yep.
Yeah.
Now, getting out of the first inning was huge on the double play, but Seattle makes mistakes here too. What is Josh Naylor doing? You have Scherzer out of the game. You have a run-scoring single by Suarez. It should be 1st and 2nd, 2 out, and you have the tying run coming to the plate. Naylor tries to stretch it to 3rd to make it 1st and 3rd. You never get the 3rd out at 3rd base. What was he doing? So when you're playing these games, those little mistakes cost you. It cost Seattle last night, Tony.
So I would just say that I've been calling Scherzer the warrior god for about 10 years, and I love him. And the moment last night when he tells the manager, just get out of here, just leave me alone. And the manager quote afterwards was, I looked into his eyes, both colors, and I thought he was going to kill me. And I just thought that was, you know what I hope for? He made it a geezer trifecta last night. He joined Flacco and Rodgers and did well. I hope if they go to the World Series, Frank, I hope he gets 1 start. I do.
Yeah.
Let's move to the other baseball game last night. The Dodgers got 2 runs in the 6th inning to break a 1-1 tie and got a stellar performance from their usually bad bullpen to take a 3-0 lead in their series against the Brewers. That's a lead that now looks safe to me. Frank, what is the Dodgers' success telling you?
Well, their pitching has been outstanding. But what is going on with the Milwaukee Brewers, who led the National League in batting average? Look what they've done. Now, I get it. They're going to talk about the fact that, the shadow in L.A., I get it. That impacts, both teams. But in the series, Milwaukee has 9 hits and 3 runs. Vlad Guerrero, who you mentioned before, has 7 hits in the last 2 games. So Milwaukee's offense, I get it, the pitching has been terrific, but you have to be better than constantly just swinging and missing. Do you know the top of their order? 1 for 15, 7 strikeouts. How are you going to win games? Again, we talk about the margins. How good of a play did Max Muncy make in the 2nd inning?
Going home.
That prevented the go-ahead run. From scoring.
Yep.
And then Uribe, he comes in and he tries to a pickoff throw at first base. That scores the insurance run. So it's those little things that Milwaukee's not hitting, and they're not doing the little things that help you win a game.
So I'll take it from the Dodgers' point of view. What their success says to me is that even though they have all the money in the world, they spend it smartly. They go out, they get Ohtani, they get Sasaki, they get Yamamoto, they trade for Mookie Betts, they sign Freddie Freeman. They signed Blake Snell. They signed Tyler Glasnow. They signed both Hernandezes, Kiki Hernandez and Teoscar Hernandez, and they trade for Tommy Edman. Andrew Friedman is ahead of everybody else. There's no other way to look at it. And if you come back to me and you say, well, other teams have money too, I'll go, yeah, sure. The Mets have money. The Yankees have money. The Phillies have money, and they're not playing right now. And the Dodgers are still playing. I said on the show about 3 weeks ago when Mike was here, that if the Dodgers pitching came around, their starting pitching, they were going to repeat as world champions. 22 2/3 innings from their starters in 3 games. 22 2/3. 7 hits, 2 runs, 25 strikeouts.
Crazy.
You can't do better than that. You really can't. That's the most you could ever expect. And the bullpen last night, which usually stinks, 3 1/3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks. So, I mean, you look at the Dodgers and you think to yourself, this is the way you do it. This is how you compete you build for this moment in the postseason.
And Tony, they never lose. They're 13-2 in their last 15 postseason games. It's hard to go 13-2 during the playoffs, much less against the best teams. But their pitching has been great. But Milwaukee, some of this has to fall on them. I get it. You know, you could tip your hat to the opponent, but at some point, you have make contact, draw a walk, try to create something on the base pass. Not good enough in this series.
Let me mention one other thing. Mookie Betts, in his first year as a full-time shortstop, makes a great play in the top of the 9th inning. Spins around in midair, basically from the grass in left field, and throws a one-bouncer to Freddie Freeman. That may have saved the game. You don't know. It's a great play. Let's take a break. Still to come. Daniel Jones and Baker Mayfield are two of the hottest quarterbacks in the NFL. Who is more likely to keep it going in Week 7?
And Jackson Dart leads the Giants against Bo Nix's Broncos on Sunday. Which quarterback would you rather have? Toss up. It's next.
Who makes a play like that from short in a big moment? Derek Jeter and Mookie Betts, right?
Yeah.
Part of Happy Hour.
Time for toss-up. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, and that man isn't Frank because he will have just lost to me. What's first?
Toss-up more likely to keep it going this week, Daniel Jones or Baker Mayfield?
Okay, so Daniel Jones plays the Chargers in L.A. I think I'm right about this. The Chargers have the 6th best pass defense in the entire league. Baker Mayfield plays the Lions in Detroit, right? In Detroit for that game.
Yep.
And if Mike Evans doesn't play, and he did not practice today, if he doesn't play, Baker Mayfield is down his top 4 wide receivers and playing against a team that when they lost their first game, and that was to Green Bay, they came back the next week and scored 52. And they just lost on Sunday to Kansas City. Frank, I love Baker Mayfield. I would vote him MVP of the league if the contest ended right now, but I don't love him in this game. I think Daniel Jones has a team that is beatable. I know the Chargers are 4-2, but I thought they should have lost to Miami last week. Amazingly, and it is amazing and surprising, Daniel Jones has the best QBR in the entire league, 79.9, and Baker Mayfield's a 71.3. So in this instance, I will take Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Jones is doing what Sam Darnold did last year. You know, it's all these kind of ex-New York quarterbacks who do well. And I'm happy that he's healthy and he's playing well. But you mentioned Baker Mayfield as the MVP. Let me give you the numbers. 4th most passing yards in the NFL, 12 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Detroit's coming off the 30-17 loss to Kansas City. Remember, you talk about all the receivers they don't have. Brian Branch, who right now is the leading candidate for the most selfish and reckless play of the season when he slapped Smith in the head, which was ridiculous. 1 game suspension.
Yeah.
So he will not be available. So you mentioned MVP. I think the toughness of Baker, these are the kind of games that help you, win the MVP, but more importantly, because we don't have MVP really debates in the NFL, it's more about this team, Tampa. Maybe they are legit to be able to go into Detroit with that terrific defense that they have and get a win. Remember, like I said, Branch not available.
Yeah, I'll just say that the last time they lost, again, they came back with 52 points. That's sort of a scary thing. What's next? What's next?
Toss-up, who would you rather have on Sunday, Jackson Dart or Bo Nix?
All right, so everybody is rooting for Jackson Dart, okay? He's the best story out there. He's a rookie. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He's 2-1 with the Giants. The Giants are a terrible team, but they're a New York team. And if you become a heroic figure in New York, it lasts a long time, and you could refer to Joe Namath and you can refer to Derek Jeter, even Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin's moments in New York were tremendous. and so right now, Jackson Dart and the other rookie, Cam Skattebo, Mr. Backflip, everybody is loving them. All right? But me personally, I think that Bo Nix right now is a better quarterback than Jackson Dart. I think the Denver Broncos are a better team. They lead the entire NFL in sacks with 30, which is 10 more than the next best team. We have seen Jackson Dart run. He can run. I am suggesting he's going to have to run a lot more against Denver because they're going to be chasing him. So.
Well, all right. So you're right about the sacks, but you also didn't mention the fact that they played the Jets last week in London, and all Justin Fields did was hang on to the ball and get sacked. That's one thing. Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo, you haven't lived here for a long time, but you kind of know the New York market. The fans have absolutely fallen in love with the two of them, and you're right about Jackson Dart. I think it's over 150 yards in the 3 games that he started. What I worry about, though, and I think he's going to do great because, he has something going. The way that he played against the Eagles tells me something. I worry about Cam Scadaboo, though, and Jackson Dart for this reason. Too many collisions. And then when they greet each other after a touchdown, they headbutt. You saw Jackson Dart in the tent, and Brian Dable is then screaming at the team doctor. Brian, worry about coaching. Let the doctor worry about concussion protocol. You're struggling enough doing that. That was out of line. But I like Jackson Dart. I think you're right. It's a great story. I think it's going to get better because Denver, a little misleading, especially those sack numbers that you mentioned.
Well, you say they got 9 on Fields alone, but that still would put them ahead of the second-place team by 1. That's it. I win. Right. Let's take one last break. But when we return, why did Dave Dombrowski just poke his star, Bryce Harper? And on Harper's birthday, no less.
And number 20, USC visits number 13, Notre Dame on Saturday. Which one is going down?
That's a good game.
The refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Please drink responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
Happy time, people. Happy 41st birthday tomorrow, Lindsey Vonn. The downhill racer has won 3 Olympic medals. 1 gold in the downhill at Vancouver in 2010, a bronze in the Super G at the same Olympics, and a bronze in the downhill at Pyeongchang in 2018. Vonn has won 82 World Cup races over the length of her career. Last year, Vonn announced she was making a comeback after retiring in 2019. She earned a second-place finish in the Super G at the Women's World Cup in Sun Valley this past March, becoming the oldest woman to ever make the podium. Vonn will try to make the U.S. Olympic team for the upcoming games at Milan Cortina. And, of course, we all remember when she and Tiger Woods were dating.
I didn't think you were going to mention that. You want to talk about toughness? She had 9 surgeries, and she's still doing it. And the downhill is awesome. And because I'm always trying to impress you, my first memory of the Winter Olympics, Franz Klammer, downhill in Innsbruck. How awesome was that?
Oh, yeah, when he flew off the mountain and didn't break any bones, which is impossible. Happy anniversary, Robin Yount. On this day, 43 years ago, the career-long Milwaukee Brewer and future first ballot Hall of Famer became the first player in World Series history with 2 4-hit games in the same series, an achievement no other player has yet to match. At that time, the Brewers were in the American League and dropped a 7-game World Series to the St. Louis Cardinals. That was the last time the Brewers were in the World Series. That year, Yount was the American League MVP, leading the league in hits, doubles, total bases, and slugging percentage. Yount is the Brewers' all-time leader in hits, at-bats, runs, doubles, triples, RBI, and walks.
Yeah, so he had 2 4-hit games in a series. The current Brewers have 9 in 3 games. The year that he won MVP, 29 home runs for him. And remember, Tony, he played about 1,500 games at short before he finally moved to center field. Pretty good player.
Shortstop. Happy trails to Dave Dombrowski's full belief in Bryce Harper. The Phillies president offered some candid thoughts on his star player yesterday. Harper had an OPS of .844 this season, his worst since 2016. So Dombrowski said, quote, "He's still an all-star caliber player. He didn't have an elite season like he's had in the past. I guess we only find out if he becomes elite or he continues to be good. Can he rise to the next level again? I really don't know that answer. When I think of Bryce Harper, you think elite. You think one of the top 10 players in baseball, and I don't think it fit into that category," unquote. Oh, Dombrowski said all this on Harper's 33rd birthday. What do you think, Frank?
Oh, okay, so Dave Dombrowski's been around for a long time. He's not sitting down at a press conference. That's just off the cuff. Obviously, he thought about that beforehand, clearly trying to send some type of message to Bryce Harper. How he receives that message, that remains to be seen. But we talked about it yesterday. Bryce Harper really struggled against the Dodgers in the last series. So Dombrowski, something's going on there. That's not just Dave Dombrowski riffing at a press conference. Come on.
Let's go quick to the big finish. Receivers Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin all out this week. Biggest loss?
I think it's the biggest one is McLaurin, because if you look at the way the Commanders have played, right now a little bit iffy. They should win in Dallas. So Bob Myers, he's leaving ESPN to run Josh Harris's team ownership group. What are your thoughts?
Really liked him on TV. He was a great guest on the show. Going to miss him. AC Milan says Christian Pulisic has a low-grade hamstring tear. Is that significant?
Yes, it is. Going to be out a month. You know that he was the top player in the Italian League for the month of September. Player of the month. Not bad. 20th ranked USC at number 13 Notre Dame tomorrow. Who do you favor?
Probably Notre Dame. They've had a good rebound since losing to Miami and Texas A&M, which are top 5 teams. Last one, Alcaraz and Sinner meet for the 6 Kings title in Saudi Arabia tomorrow. Who you got?
I got Alcaraz. How about the fact it's for $6 million? This is a good rivalry. Not exactly Federer-Nadal, but pretty close.
Yeah. Wow. They're good to watch. They are. We're out of time.
Yep.
We'll try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
And I'm Frank Isola. Thanks for watching. And now,